show you how to measure roof on iRoofing. When you're at this part, you will already have had a presentation with the homeowner, and that is the only reason why you'll be measuring their roof. And you will then have their address. You simply get started by clicking Measure Your Roof, Sketch My Roof. At the bottom of the screen, there's a search bar. Click in that. Type in the homeowner's address. It is best to use your zip code to be the most precise to find on the first try. To confirm that this is the house, yes, it has a number 6 above it on the center, but to check out the house, just click Measure on the bottom right of your screen. Then, on the right side of your screen, below the Subtract button, there's a Street View button. Click that button. It is also the same way to take a screenshot of the house in order to do your roof sim. You then can simply look at the home. On the mailbox right here, it says 6. Also on the home, it has it written 6. So you know for a fact you are looking at the right house. It's also good to look at the house, check if you see the slope, the pitch, and you also can see there's going to be step flashing that you're going to have to label. We'll get to that. On the bottom left of your screen is the back button, back arrow, or you can hit the satellite button to go back. That was on the right side of your screen. Another good thing before you start to look at is a bird's eye view. There's a pitch button on the bottom of your screen next to label parts. Click the pitch button. Then on the left side of your screen is a BI view, which stands for bird's eye view. Click that button. Now, you can see the home, all the slopes, and any other thing that could be interfering with the home or something you did not know by looking at the street view. On the top left of your screen is the extra zoom button. Zoom in. On the right side of the screen, the arrows with the compass. That's how you can rotate through the home. This view right here, you can see the step flashing on the side. And from this view, you can see that there's also going to be normal flashing on the addition on the back. As you can see all the slopes of the home here. On the bottom left, click the back arrow. Click the back arrow one more time. Click OK. You now have checked out the home, and you are aware. Now, you want to line up the grid as best as you can on the main ridge of the home, or the outside eave of the home, centered. And on the bottom of your screen, there's a blue button called Clear Roof. You would then select that to get a better image of the home. And here on the bottom of your screen there's a bar with different dates. It's best to use the most recent, yes, but after doing street view and bird's eye view, we could tell there was a tree that was overhanging on the back slope there. Therefore, we maybe would like to go more towards fall-winter date so we don't have any tree overhang stopping us from measuring the slope. Here I'm going to select November of 18 and simply click all the squares above the house you are measuring. And before hitting the measure button on the bottom right of your screen, click the adjust button, which is right to the right of clear roof, left of the measure button, to make sure you're simply aligned properly. The main ridge of the home, outside eave, say, that looks good. And then hit measure button on the bottom right of your screen. We will begin to measure. First, zoom in, as you can be more precise as you see the crosshairs on the top left of your screen. Help you to be as precise as possible when measuring all the slopes. Here you can see this house or roof has 7 slopes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll start with the front slope. Crosshairs. There's a measure marker button on both the left and right side of your screen, on the bottom right or bottom left of the image. Click one of those markers with your first dot. Follow the ridge. As you can see, it is lined up red when you're following the correct where you're supposed to be. Hit one of those measure markers again. Create your second dot. Follow the rake down to the eave. You don't want to go to say here because that's the gutter. Right about here. Hit the marker button. Create your third dot. Follow the at eave all the way down. Select your fourth dot. Follow that back up. Slope. Next, we'll go to the back gable. Zoom in. Create another dot for the next other side of the gable. Follow the valley. See the crosshair is lined up. It's all red. Great. Next we'll do the back slope. Before moving to the next slope, on the bottom of your screen you can see there's a hide labels button. You can click that to hide the labels of your slopes already drawn. Makes it visually a little easier and better. Also to the left of that labels button on the bottom left of your screen, line thickness. I like to go as thin as possible so it's easier to see as you're measuring. Next, I will do this last slope on main portion of the house. See how the markers are lined up red as you level. Hit marker button. Oops, didn't mean to do that. On the top right of your screen, there's an undo button. Click that once. It'll undo what you just did. You can simply make it right. Great. Next slope. Make it on a dot to complete your last slope. Great. Now completed all the slopes in the house. So the labels, everything looks great. Once done measuring all the slopes, we would then like to know the pitch of this house. So we then are going to select the pitch button. It's on the bottom of your screen, in between report and label parts. If you don't already know the pitch, which you should or will not, on the left side of your screen, click Measure Pitch button right above Bird's Eye View. There are two ways to measure the pitch: by rake, by slope, and most of the time you wouldn't use by hip or valley, but by rake or by slope normally is the two best options to try first. So we will select by rake on the bottom left of your screen. Then you will simply make a dot. Oh no, I am sorry. That is not correct. So say you just did not want to do what I just did. Hit by rake again, and then again to start. But you want to move to the right here so you can see the rake. This is good. And simply click by rake. And your first dot will be on the corner of the main slope. And you want to make an imaginary eave across to the corner of the smaller slope on the right. Want as straight as possible. Say about there. And then your last dot, you want to follow the rake of the first slope all the way up. Just say about there. Also, it's top screen, whichever directions that help you. You can click the arrow just to hide that. Now this is saying it's a 6 to 7 pitch. If you want to move, you can grab that, go down a little. Now it's more 6. So it's a 6 to 7, depending on where you leave it. To confirm, you can now hit by slope on the left side of your screen. want to get in front of the house first. Then click by slope. Click drawing on the top of your screen. Back to Street View. By slope, you're going to do the main front eave of the house. So, go on the front corner of the slope, across the whole eave to the other corner of the slope, and then your third dot will be center of the ridge. As you can see, it's saying it's pitch 7, 6, 7, similar to by rake. No matter where you move it, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7. So it's a 6 to 7 pitch roof. You would then click out of this. On the bottom of the screen, hit the back arrow, and then you can simply double click inside the pitch meter on the right side of your screen. Double click the 7. All slopes are now measured with a 7 pitch roof. We are now going to hit the label parts button, which is right to the right of the pitch button on the bottom of your screen. Before we get started, I like to make the lines thinner so it's easier to mark. I'm going to hit line thickness minus on the bottom of the screen. Zoom in. Start labeling parts. First is ridge. 1, 2, 3. Next is hip. This roof in particular, there are no hips. So next we'll go to valley. Click valley on the right side of your screen. There are 2 valleys back on the gable. 1, 2. Next is rake. Click rake. Zoom in. Seems to be all the rakes. Next are the eaves. Remember the hide labels button on the bottom of your screen next to line thickness. Now you can see that they were labeled pink correctly since they're so small. Next is flashing. We know from bird's eye view previously there's flashing right here. And lastly, step flashing, which we know from street view and bird's eye view we had some step flashing here, 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 and here. Once all your parts are labeled correctly, you click back to measure. You can see what you have just created. Everything looks great. And we are now going to save a report. On the bottom of your screen, to the left of the pitch button, there's a button called Report. Click Report, hit Save. On the top, we see 6 County Court, Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, 07716 in the USA. If that is correct, click that. Then click Add New Client. You have to use that address. And simply type in your client's name. For example, I'm just going to put in home owner 3. Add 2. Okay. Generating report. And here you go. Here's everything you have measured and labeled. Total slopes, total squares, the waste factors, the total area. On the bottom right, share button. Simply share your report. You can also customize your report. Won't get too much into this as everything's pretty pre-selected, but certain things you can adjust for fun or if need be. Hit the back arrow on the bottom of your screen. And that is a measure a roof.